Hi, let's move on to the head of the chicken. Pick up your leftover clay and break it in half if you can. There we go. More or less the same on each side. Put one down and break the other one in half. More or less the same size. Put one down and break the other one in half. More or less the same size. Put one down and break the other one in half. I like to line them up from biggest to smallest so that you know which one I'm talking about when I ask you to pick one up. So we're going to call that one Dad. There's Mom. There's big brother or sister. And these are the baby twins. Okay. Dad, Mom, big brother or sister, and baby twins. Please will you pick up Mom? Okay. And for the purposes of this video, I'm going to put the rest of the family onto the table below so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Now, Mom, we're going to roll. I don't know if you remember the last video. When we rolled, we made our hands like this, and we rolled. This cloth is getting in my nerves. You're going to roll like that. Sorry, just doing a bit of readjusting here. You're going to roll like that. You're going to go forward and backward, forward and backward. What I'd like you to do is to roll more on the one side than the other so that you're making the shape of a cone. Can you see that? You go tap, tap to get it flat, and then roll, roll, and then tap, tap, and then roll, roll. One thing you need to guard against is making this too thin. If it looks like this, it's going too thin, okay? So you've got to just make it a little bit fatter because you need a little bit of a, chicken needs a bit of a head. Okay, so there we go. You've got your cone. And if you stand it up on your table, that's what you'll have. What I need you to do now, make that a bit better for you, is to bend the top of the cone to make the chicken's head. Okay, different children will bend at different heights, but it's more or less, that's what makes it individual. More or less like that. And then we're going to work on the beak. The beak goes like this. Peter pointer, Tommy thumb in the shape of a gun. And what you're going to do is you're going to pinch it this way. Then you're going to turn it this way and pinch it that way. Turn it this way, pinch it this way. Turn it this way, pinch it that way. So you're getting a little point. If it's too flat like that, it looks like a duck. I'll show you when it's too flat. If it's too flat like that, it's like a duck. You've got to then pinch it that way, just to point it out a bit. Make it a little bit pointy, because a chicken's got a slightly pointy beak because they pick up seeds, okay? Or scratch grasses or grab worms. A duck scoops stuff, so he's got a slightly more spoon-like beak. So your chicken's beak should be pointy like that. Got it? Okay. Now, I should have researched this, but I didn't. On a chicken's head is, I think it's called a cockscomb, and there's this little thing that comes up like this, like a wavy thing on top of the head. So to do that, I'm just going to pinch a little bit, pinch a tiny piece up here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And that's not exactly a cockscomb, but it's more or less. And then they've got something that comes down here, and I can't remember the name. Is it a giblet? I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about, is that little thing that goes underneath your... So just pull that down, and you can sort of kind of get it into a little shape like that. Can you see? Now that's not exactly, but we're getting there, slowly but surely. Pottery, you go step by step. Okay. I'm going to pick up my magic sword and do a little bit of detail now. What I'm going to do is I am going to just hold my magic sword like that. Maybe this way would be a better, like that, or like that. Now you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to make a little dent. So that'll make it a little bit more like a cockscomb. Can you see? And then with the sharpness, the sharp side, I'm going to draw around like that. Okay, so you've separated where the skin bit is from where the feathers are with your line that you've drawn with the magic sword. And you can do that with the little giblety thing underneath here, the jowl, like that, like that. So you've just separated the textures that are on the chicken. Now the other texture a chicken has is the beak. The beak is hard and then the feathers start. So you draw a line where, oh, something happened outside, where the beak is and where the feathers, where the beak is hard and the soft feathers stop. You draw a line like that just to differentiate, because really this is just a lump of clay. You're trying to trick people into believing that the beak is hard and the feathers are soft. And then there are two beaks. There's a top beak and a bottom beak. So what I usually do is I draw a line just splitting the two together. So then it looks like, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I hope you can. The top beak and the bottom beak. And then another thing I do, I mean, this is all suggestions. You can make it much better than mine. I'm keeping it short for the video. And then to separate the textures of the cockscomb and the head, the feathery head, I'm going to take the sharp bit of my magic sword and just do little dots all over the cockscomb. And I think it's a giblet, I'm not sure. Let's call it what do we call it? The jowl. Anyway, there it is. So now we're starting to work on a chicken's head. Can you see that? And the eyes, let's not forget the eyes, these tiny little chickeny eyes. They go over there. You can see there, and there, and there. And then a chicken's got two little dots on the top of its beak for the nose. So you can do that with your magic sword as well. There we go. Okay. And to finish off the head, you might want to do this. Take your leaf stamp and you can just roll it around the head a bit without pushing it out of shape. But you might want to put a few feathers on. And there we go. I'm going to stop the video now. It's getting too long. But there you've got the head of your chicken. Okay.